Guys, and welcome back. I've got a big smile on my face today for some reason, because me by myself, not we, are going to have a little look at some slightly festive things. I feel weird saying that because it's obviously like the start of November, but Christmas comes around quickly, and the one thing that is just it's a bit sad, but it's also just like a reality of our families, is that Ellie and I won't be together for Christmas. We haven't ever had a Christmas together, even though we've been together for like nearly 7 years, I think it is. We don't actually have like an official date of when we started going out, which is annoying, so we don't have like an anniversary to celebrate. But we both go to our family homes for Christmas, and we'll probably leave about the week before Christmas. So 2 years ago, when we had our first like lead up to Christmas together in our flat, I decorated it a bit early because we didn't actually have as long to enjoy it. So I feel like you've got to excuse me for doing it a little bit early. But what I want to do today is I really want to get some Christmas candles, or kind of like autumnal Christmas. They don't necessarily need to be like really Christmassy, but just more like spiced wintry scents. And I'm going to go to Homesense because I know they always have literally the best candles. And also want to see if there are any other like little Christmassy things. All of our Christmas decorations, because like I said 2 years ago, we actually did decorate our flats for Christmas. Last year, if you've been watching my channel since then, last year we'd both moved back to our family homes because our lease was up on our flat, but our house wasn't ready yet. So our Christmas decorations have basically been in a box for like nearly 2 years now. And I can't even really remember what I've got. So we need to go to Elliot's mum's to get them because they're currently in her loft. But I am mega excited about decorating our house for Christmas. I just know it's going to look so cozy and lovely. But yeah, I thought I'd go and have a little look at what they've got in the shops today, and see if there's any like little things to pick up. What I do know is that 2 years ago, when we had a Christmas tree, we did have a real tree, but it was very, very small, like a tiny, tiny tree. Like it was like a 5-foot tree, which is quite funny as well because 5 foot is just like the actual leaves. So it was 5 foot, including the stalk part of the tree. I definitely mean trunk, don't I? The trunk of the tree. Yeah, the trunk of the tree. So it was very small. And our Christmas decorations, we had like just enough for doing a tree of that size. So I know we're going to need a few more. Guys, I'm back and I need to show Elliot what I bought at the same time, so I thought I'd show you all together because I'm very excited. So in the shopping centre near where we live, there was a whole Christmas pop-up. Like it was insane. Like I wish you'd actually come with me because
it's pictures.
So cool. I didn't take any pictures, but I did get some video clips of it. A whole huge Christmas shop, like really, really cool as well. Loads of really cute things, but I tried not to go too wild because obviously I'm sure I think we need to get our decorations back from your mum's and see what we need more of and things, because I think we'll need more decorations. Because do you remember that teeny little tree? I was telling them the story about like the 5-foot Christmas tree.
Oh my god.
That we had in our flat. It was so small.
To get a Christmas tree and you came back with the smallest one I've ever seen.
Yeah, but I didn't know it was going to be that little. Okay, so the first thing I got, which was a bargain, I got this wreath from Homesense. I feel like I'm quite picky with fake wreaths, so I thought this was quite like a realistic one for our front door.
Yeah.
And so it was £6. £6.
Bargain.
Such bargain. And look, It's pre-lit.
That is
How
pretty
good is
lit.
that
Is
pretty lit. But I thought that I could add some like pine cones and things, so I thought that would look perfect on our front door. Now I've got a treat for you.
for me.
Well, it's kind of a treat. I'll show you at the end. So the other thing I got from that Christmas shop was this mini little tree. I think that's quite cute.
Nice. I like that, yeah.
I thought we could have it on our bar area, but I need to like obviously put the branches down. But I thought it was very cute and like woodlandy. Because our decorations, if I remember rightly, are like silver and gold, maybe, and white. They're quite neutral, but I do want to add in a bit of red, but I thought that was really cute.
Yeah, that is very cute.
And that was £9.99 from the little Christmas shop. I feel like you could pick that up anywhere though, like probably like Amazon or something. Okay, so I did get more candles. Elliot's got quite into burning the candles recently. So you can smell these. Number one. That's probably the nicest one. Do you know what? They didn't have all of the festive candles in just yet, but they did have a set of them. Lovely, isn't it?
Nice.
Oh, so that one, I can't remember what the
Should
scent
burn this bad boy now.
say. What's the scent of that one?
Sand fog.
No, spice.
Spiced gingerbread.
It's sand and fog. It's the brown.
Oh yeah.
But these were from Homesense, and this one's not as nice, but I thought it was still really nice. But that one is like unreal, and that's golden nutmeg. Golden nutmeg one. They had like tons of these as well, and that's, what was it called?
It's kind of making me a bit hungry. Is that weird?
Like I get that because they are like foodie scents, and spiced gingerbread. We've got quite into like sweet spiced scents recently. Then these are the really cute things that I got as a little present for you.
Oh my god. I love
Our first Christmas mugs.
I can't wait.
How cute, so we can have a coffee in the morning.
And coffee.
I thought that was so lovely.
Cheers.
Cheers. So yeah, these are the ones that I picked up. I just thought they were so sweet and very like tasteful Christmas vibes. What are you doing in the background? But there were so many really nice things at the shop, honestly. Like, oh, I could have got so much stuff, but I just think we need to be a bit more sensible. But that wreath was actually probably the biggest thing. And I picked that up because it was £6. Like, that's like
absolute bargain.
such a bargain. And I know that Hobbycraft, because last time I went with Megan, they had like little pine cones and berries and things, so I could like add them in.
Oh, well,
let's have a bit
we'll put
a
something.
nice big ribbon or something.
Yeah, like a ribbon, that would do.
Yeah, lovely. But yeah, it just made me so excited for the festive season, and I can't wait to have my morning coffee. So I really fancied doing a little bit of baking. I didn't want to bake like a cake or a cookie or anything. And Elliot reminded me at the weekend, I'm just gonna light this maple pumpkin candle because it smells amazing. And I feel like with baking, it's gonna kind of mirror the smell of what we're making. Elliot reminded me at the weekend that I used to make this granola for him literally all the time. And I haven't made it for him for so long. Well, and for me, but as in he was really, really obsessed with it. So I thought I would make a granola, but with a little bit of a twist. So I'm gonna make a pumpkin granola. Because if you remember, at the start of autumn, it's like the start of, maybe it was like the end of September, I bought some tins of pumpkin puree. So you have to buy them off Amazon in this country. I can't seem to find them in the shops anywhere. And I haven't used them all because I had to buy 4 from Amazon. I thought we would use one of them to make a pumpkin granola. So I've got the oven preheated and we're gonna make something. I'm thinking like chewy granola, not super crunchy granola, but I think the pumpkin would make it a little bit chewy rather than being really crunchy. When I had finished uni, I actually did an internship at this foodie brand in London that kind of sells to like lots of big places like Selfridges and things. They make like pre-made boxes of food. I was actually working in the kitchens with them, kind of, I guess, making the food. I don't know if I'd call that like being a chef because it was very like basic stuff. I was doing a lot of like you know, peeling oranges and slicing this and like baking nuts and things. But one of the things that I made loads when I was there was granola. And although I don't have the recipe that they used to use, the ingredient that they used to use to make a chewy granola was to add in some milk, like plant-based milk, to make it a little bit more of like a moist mixture, because I don't like when granola is like really crunchy. But I think having a wet ingredient like pumpkin would basically make that. So we are gonna improvise a little bit, because, well, I say improvise, we're gonna basically, I've not got all the ingredients that I would like, so I'm just gonna kind of make do with what I've got. So for example, oats, I would love to have like big chunky rolled oats, but I've only got these kind of more like instant porridge oats. So we're gonna use these, which will be absolutely fine. And I'm just gonna mix everything together in a bowl, super, super easy, and then bake it. So it's a really easy one if you guys also wanna try it at home. So we're gonna do all the dry things first, because otherwise the cups will get all wet and horrible. So we're gonna do three cups. Yeah, I don't wanna make like a ginormous batch, because I feel like when it's homemade, it doesn't keep as long as, you know, if it's like got preservatives in and things. So 3 cups. I just realized that's actually the only dry ingredient that I'm gonna put in here at the moment, because I'm gonna actually put the nuts in when it's already baking, because otherwise they can burn sometimes, and I just want them lightly done, sort of halfway through the cooking time. I'm gonna add those. So some oil. I would usually use melted coconut oil, but I do not have that today. So this is actually sunflower oil, but you can use pretty much any oil. I don't think I would use olive oil, which would be the one that I usually cook with, just because I think it's got too much of like a savory flavor. But that's actually sunflower oil, not something I usually cook with. Oh no, is it sunflower? Vegetable oil. I would go for a rapeseed oil, coconut oil would probably be my preference. Okay, for sweetness, I wanted to do maple syrup, but I've only got, well, that's half of a third of a cup measurement. So I'm gonna do maple syrup and also honey combined. Basically, I think overall about half a cup of some kind of like sweet, runny liquid. We're gonna do just under a third of a cup of pumpkin. Well, basically a third of a cup of pumpkin. This should also give it quite a nice like orangey sort of colour. Okay, so now for the spices. This is honestly like the easiest thing to make, and would make just such a quick breakfast to have in the morning with some yogurt and honey on top. We're gonna do sea salt, and I'm gonna do like, honestly, probably about half a teaspoon, because I just feel like it's so nice when you get those like crispy, salty granules. Half a teaspoon of vanilla. Do you know what? Let's do a whole teaspoon of vanilla. I saw a really funny, like, okay, we'll just do the rest of that. A really funny, like TikTok reel thing that was talking about vanilla and just how you just kind of keep adding it. It might say like half a teaspoon, but you're like, yeah, we'll go in with a whole teaspoon. It's like, who actually even sticks to the measurements for these kind of things? Right, then for spices. So I want it to be like kind of like a pumpkin spice thing. And the only spices that I've got that would kind of resemble that are nutmeg, cinnamon, and ginger. So I'm gonna do, let's say half a teaspoon of each of them. I mean, this is very rough because it's pretty hard to measure out. Right, let's go with a quarter of a teaspoon of each of them. Elliot like loves cinnamon and like cinnamony spice things. Right, and we're just gonna mix that together. Make sure it's really, really well combined. Oh, just wanted to add, if you are gonna use coconut oil, make sure you melt the coconut oil. Don't put it in hard. Also, I really wanted to put chocolate chips in this recipe, like really, really wanted to. And we just don't have any at all. I thought we might have a bit of chocolate left over from the weekend, but we don't. So I'm gonna put sultanas in, which is pretty disappointing for me. Right, let's give that a try. That tastes unbelievable. Okay, 2 baking trays. You know what, a little hack for you, a little more sustainable kitchen hack. I have these reusable baking sheets, I guess, which are basically an alternative to buying parchment baking paper, but they are reusable and you can literally just put them in the dishwasher. Do you know what? I actually might only need one. Let me try and just put it in one and see. Yeah, I actually think I'm probably just gonna use one. So another hack that I learned when I was doing this internship is if you press it like as if you're making a flapjack or something, then when it breaks apart, some bits will hold together and be a bit more like crunchy, do you know what I mean? Like bigger, chewy pieces. And there'll be some bits that are really crumbly. And to me, that is just the absolute perfect granola. Okay, so just press that in. And then this bakes quite slowly. And I just keep an eye on it. So I would say half an hour at 180 degrees, but keep an eye on it because you do not want to overcook it and it can turn really quickly. In about 20 minutes time, I'm then gonna add in the walnuts and the sultanas because like I said, you just don't want to overcook them. Hey Siri, set a timer for 20 minutes.
20 minutes, starting now.
Do you know, I constantly do that with my Siri now. I just shout out to it when I'm in the shower, when I think of something, and it's just the best thing ever. Right, let's have a look at how this is getting on. Do you know what? It's actually a little browner than I thought it would be. This has only been in for 20 minutes, and I feel like usually it would cook a little bit slower than this, bake a little bit slower than this. So I'm gonna add in the nuts and the sultanas and then get that back in, but not for too long, to be honest. So these are my chopped walnuts. So I'm gonna add those in, and then I'm gonna press it all in a second. Like a big handful of those. Basically, as long as it's not too hot, obviously you can use a spatula for this, just press them in. But yeah, don't worry if it's not particularly even because obviously all of this is gonna kind of break up anyway. Right guys, what I've just decided to do is take out all the corner pieces, the edge pieces that are already done because I really don't want some super burnt pieces in there. So what I would probably suggest doing is cooking it for a little less time, baking it for a little less time than I've done. So a bit less than 20 minutes. If you're gonna do it at 180 degrees, or just do it at 160 degrees instead. And then we're gonna put that back in for probably just another 10 minutes to bake. Someone is eating all the granola as I've taken it out. Right guys, the granola is looking good. I mean, I just took it out. Elliot was just in the room and I was like, what on earth? And I was like, the sultanas had like blown up like grapes, which I've never had before, which was seriously weird. But texture is on point. This is how it's looking. So we've got some real chewy bits and some crunchy bits as well, of which Elliot's eaten most of. But around the edges, they're nice and crunchy. Sultanas are looking good. There were some that actually burnt a little bit. So I think the moral of the story is that your oven needs to be at 160 degrees, not 180 degrees. But I'm gonna let this cool and then break it all up and then we can snack on it basically. Look how freaking adorable our little Christmas mugs look. We haven't actually used them yet because they had labels in, which I've had to soak off. And oh, they're just looking so sweet. So I've given them their own cupboard just because, you know, they're only gonna be around for a month and a half basically. But just so happy with how this whole cupboard's looking. In fact, my dad was here at the weekend and complimented me on my jars. He was like, where are those from? It's funny, since he's retired, he's got really into like more like housey things that he was never into before. And he was saying that he's recently bought Jamie Oliver's cookbook, which I just thought was so funny, the one pot meals, and he's got really into cooking them. And he made a pie the other day. Honestly, my dad's just not a cook, let's put it that way. He's not a home cook naturally, but he's like really trying hard. But yeah, he really liked those. So it'd be funny if I go to my family home at Christmas and my dad's started organising their cupboards like that as well. But that is looking seriously good. So we're just gonna get it in a container and then it's ready to eat. Oh, look at these massive chunky bits. Ready to eat for breakfast tomorrow morning, or realistically probably as we start watching TV tonight. guys, well, I did not have a good night's sleep last night. I woke up at 4 just feeling like mega anxious, if I'm honest, and went into our spare bedroom and just watched videos for ages, just distracted my mind. Eventually got back to sleep and then woke up this morning at like 10 pretty much, but at least I got some sleep. But just feeling a bit like disorientated, and I don't like starting a working day at that time, so it just makes me feel a bit lazy. But I think priority was just getting some sleep, to be honest, so I didn't wake up feeling absolutely shattered today. It's breakfast time and we are gonna have some of my granola. Also, this is the first time I've put on this wintry jumper that I got last year for so long, and it actually feels just so nice and comfortable. It's the rainiest day. It started raining when I got up at 4, and it's just literally, look at this. It's been like this for hours as well. Just so wet and horrible. So we are gonna have some granola and have a cozy day working. Elliot's mum is actually coming for lunch, so I think we are gonna go to the bakery near our house rather than making something in, especially now I've not actually slept for that long. I put another tray of another set of my Invisaligns in, like the next one last night. And I find when you take it out to eat, it makes your teeth feel like really sensitive, like they're about to fall out, and I've really got that today. Do you want it with milk or yogurt? I think I'm gonna have it with milk, but you could have it with yogurt if you want.
I'll have the milk, yeah.
Yeah?
Well, I'll have
And some frozen berries and honey. So it is 6 o'clock, and for the last hour we are with Octopus Energy, and they've got this like energy saving slot thing scheme going on, and it's basically, yeah, for the last hour we've been challenged by them to not use any electricity or gas, well, as little as you possibly can. So we had to charge all of our devices up, like laptop and phone, earlier in the day. We've switched everything off. This is candle light. I'm actually editing this vlog that is about to go up tonight. We've got some candles, but the rest of our house is absolutely pitch black, but hopefully it will save us a bit of money. How are you getting on down here, Els? Where are you? This is so funny. Right, you can turn the lights on now. Have you just had the candles on the whole time?
Yeah.
How good is this? But yeah, we were gonna try and save a bit of money. Right, on they go. Woo! It was actually quite fun. I feel like it was a nice little challenge. What do you think?
Can we do it every day?
Wait, that's not a bad idea. We could actually challenge ourselves to do an hour a day using like hardly anything. Yeah, it was, I mean, it was actually fine, but apparently the slots are sometimes like 2 hours long, which maybe it'll be a little trickier.
Definitely only an hour, right?
Yeah, it was only an hour. It's definitely between 5 and 6, and hopefully they'll show us our stats. But if you guys are also with Octopus, I can't remember what it is exactly that you save, but they like reward you for every something. What are energy units? Kilowatts? Something. Anyway, we don't need to get into the details. But it was okay today because I wouldn't usually start making dinner till like 7 anyway. Anyway, I am gonna sign this video off here so I can get it up for you tonight. Feels a bit weird like vlogging and uploading on the same day. But I hope you have enjoyed this video as always. Do you wanna say bye as well? Bye. I'm getting really excited for festive content. I've been doing a little bit of like bauble tree planning this afternoon. So got some fun, exciting vlogs to come. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and if you do want to stick around to see more videos, and I will see you on my next one. Bye.